Hello and welcome to WHKB Milky 7 News. I'm Orangelo Flowers.
And I am Lalangelo Price. President Barack Obama touched down in Cuba earlier this year in March, thus ending a half-century of estrangement and dramatic personnel demonstration of his core foreign policy principle of engaging America's enemies. It's a shift that the president hopes will nudge the communist government here to grant more freedoms to its people and open new economic channels for American businesses. The president and his allies also hope a successful detente will something bigger, a lasting example of diplomacy's power in dealing with longtime foes.
Larry Wilmore, host of Comedy Central's satirical news program, The Nightly Show, has gotten some mixed reviews for using the N-word at the end of his speech at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He said, "Yo, Barry, you did it, my blank," Wilmer said to President Obama at the close of his remarks. Shortly after the event, the Reverend Al Sharpton said that the use of the word in front of Obama was at best in poor taste, while Saturday Night Live member Sashira Zamata tweeted, "This is the blackest correspondence dinner ever, and I love it."
The public is sharply divided along age, party, and education lines over whether transgender people should be allowed to use public bathrooms that match their gender identity rather than their gender at birth, according to the latest New York Times/CBS News poll. While less than a majority, 46% of Americans say they think that transgender people should be allowed to use only public restrooms corresponding to their gender at birth. A smaller number, 41%, think transgender people should be allowed to use the restroom that matches the gender they identify with. So what do you think? Take the WHKB Milky 7 News poll online and answer what you think.
Republicans are ready for their party to rally around Donald Trump. A New York Times and CBS poll shows even the general electors remain skeptical about him and Hillary Clinton. The NRA recently endorsed Donald Trump for president at his convention Friday, gaining attention over his approach of gun control. On the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are still battling it out, and Bernie Sanders has stated that he will continue to run until the Democratic convention, hoping to get a contested election against Hillary.
Bombings at Brussels airport and a metro station in the city on Tuesday, 22nd March, killed 32 people from around the world. Many more were injured in the attacks. The toll does not include 3 bombers who died also. Twin blasts struck the main terminal of Zaventem International Airport in the northeast of the city. Another explosion hit the Milky metro station in city centre close to several European Union institutions. The blast did more than just injure people. It echoed through the whole world, and now everyone is feeling the effects much later.
The devastating Zika disease has been spreading across the globe. The deadly virus affects the pregnant women and can cause birth defects to their children. Brazil has had the most controversial outbreak because of the coming 2016 Olympics. A number of female athletes and some male athletes are saying they will not compete unless some safety precautions are taken to ensure their health. Recently, the number of Zika cases in the United States has tripled from 48 to 157, with only one known case of a child being born with defects in the United States.
Now in local news. After a 16-year-old boy was shot and injured and taken to the hospital a few weeks ago, a 19-year-old connected to the shooting near Sussex Walking Trail gets bailed. He is one of 2 suspects in the case, but police are still not saying who pulled the trigger. Nick Wame Bell, 19, is accused of being the driver in the incident. The Waukesha County Sheriff's Department say they have arrested a second suspect, but he was not in court on Wednesday. Bell is accused of driving a second suspect to the drug deal that ended in a shooting near the Bugline Trail this weekend. Although it may have taken a while, this is a weight off the area's shoulders.
Earlier this year, Governor Scott Walker made it official and put into legislation a new tax for the 5-county area to pay for the construction of the new Milwaukee Bucks Arena. This will increase the state's tax by 0.01% and be the bulk of the money needed to build the new arena. In May, the Bucks also released new renderings of the proposed arena, which will be the centerpiece of the city's new world-class sports and entertainment district.
With fears that Apple will not succeed in the Chinese market, multi-billionaire Apple stock owner Carl Icahn has sold his nearly 46 million shares in Apple for about $2 billion of profit. With Apple's recent struggles in the market, they were only made worse when Icahn made the sale, making the stock fall 2% instantly and then eventually the next week falling another 9%.
Amazon can already deliver items to some customers within hours after they've been ordered, but the online retailer says that time window will shrink down to just 30 minutes if it can deliver packages via drones through its Amazon Prime service. These drones will weigh about 55 pounds each, but they will be able to deliver parcels that weigh up to 5 pounds. It turns out that the vast majority of the things sold on Amazon weigh less than 5 pounds. These drones will be able to dodge obstacles just like a horse would.
That concludes our business portion, but speaking of horses, Nyquist won the 2016 Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs on a beautiful sunny Saturday evening in Louisville. Exaggerator was second by 1/4 lengths and Gunrunner third by 4 1/2 lengths. With the victory, Nyquist paid $6.60 to win on a $2 bet, $4.80 to place on a $3.60 to show. Exaggerator paid $5.40 to place and $4.20 to show. Gunrunner paid $6 to show. Nyquist is the first to go 8 for 8 since 1969 and the 8th unbeaten Kentucky Derby winner of all time.
The NBA recently announced that the Board of Governors has approved a 3-year pilot program to allow teams to sell a corporate logo on their jerseys. Teams can now start pitching companies on buying a 2.5 by 2.5 inch space, as the NBA becomes the first of the 4 major U.S. sports leagues to put ads on regular game day jerseys. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, said the league had calculated that the program will be worth about $100 million a year. It's a small opportunity relative to the league's overall revenues, which Silver said are projected to be $7 billion in the 2017-2018 season. The Philadelphia 76ers are the first team to sell this space on their jerseys, striking a deal with StubHub for 3 years worth almost $15 million.
Released on March 9th, Lil Yachty has officially arrived. The Atlanta rapper, who's best known for quirky songs like One Night and Minnesota, just released his debut mixtape, Little Boat the Mixtape, and it features some of ATL's brightest stars like Young Thug, Quavo, and Skippa da Flippa.
In February, the long-awaited Deadpool movie was released. This was the first R-rated superhero movie that Marvel has released. Some thought it wouldn't work and become a total flop. However, the movie was able to outsell every previous Marvel movie before it, making almost $800 million worldwide. With the recent success of the R-rated movie, Marvel is in talks to make their next feature film, Wolverine 3, rated R as well.
Authorities say a man tried to rob a car wash in Northern California with an empty potato chip bag and alleged handgun. Roanoke Park's Department of Public Safety says in a statement that a man entered KC's World of Water car wash Friday night and dropped an empty potato chip bag on the counter. He told the cashier to fill it with money, warning that he had a gun. The man gestured the weapon was in the empty bag, but the cashier saw it held only a piece of cardboard and called the court worker for help. Police say when the other employee approached, the suspect fled on feet.
On February 11th, Kanye West premiered his new album, The Life of Pablo, and his new collection, The Yeezy Season 3, to a sold-out crowd at Madison Square Garden. Kanye came with many of his friends, such as Pusha T, Travis Scott, Kid Cudi, and Metro Boomin, while he also had the likes of Ian Connor, Young Thug, and Lil Yachty model in his Yeezy Season 3 collection.